Shayna and Shane.
I haven't seen the text myself. I haven't seen any of the texts or anything. No, I have not physically seen the text myself. Not text messages. It was just messages.
Please show everyone. I have nothing to hide.
Oh my God, these producers are very shady. That wasn't necessary about the text messages, but hey, it is what it is. Hey there, it's Valerie again. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love is Blind After the Altar. This is the last episode, episode 14. So this is season 2, episode 14. Um, I'm really heartbroken with how it ended. Okay, so I'll review the couples and we'll see how we go. Okay, so Shayna and her boyfriend. Shayna and her boyfriend for me seemed very, very calculated. And it seems like I now get the feeling that Shayna was dating this guy and then stopped dating this guy, or they broke up. She went on Love is Blind and they came back and they reconnected because it's surprising that the same year she was engaged to Kyle is the same year she's engaged to this guy. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It seems too much of a coincidence, but it could be me. So, and the fact that the guy is just a yes, ma'am, he says yes to everything Shayna wants. Okay, we are leaving in 5 minutes. We're doing this. We're doing that. Yes, and they left the party because Danielle sort of told them that Natalie said Shayna had been flirting with Shayna and Shane had been flirting while Natalie and Shane were still engaged. And instead of confronting Natalie, the best thing for them was to run away. So they then left. And it's surprising that uh, Shane then came to Chris's restaurant and met up with Shayna. And so Shayna was telling him everything that happened. And the surprising thing is they didn't deny the fact that they weren't sort of flirting or sort of dating after oh, you should have heard what Natalie said. I wasn't the, you and Shane was like, I wasn't there to protect to present my own case, and that's why she did that because I wasn't there. And Sheena made it seem like they went to Nick's party. It wasn't Nick's. Nick and Danielle hosted a party, but they hosted a party for Natalie. It was Natalie's birthday. I don't know whether they didn't tell her that bit or she decided to edit that bit out to make her story seem more realistic to Shane. I think Shane and Shayna dated after the season ended and continued to date. And then Shayna was either in between both guys. It makes more sense that way because of the way she behaves. I know her boyfriend came out and apparently this is the first time he was meeting Shane. I don't believe it. I think it was just for the show. And then eventually, he went to the back of his restaurant and left Shane and Shayna to talk. They took a picture just because they wanted to, just to start to be messy. I think the picture they took just to see Natalie's reaction. I don't know. The Shane Shayna triangle to me doesn't make sense. Natalie, after the party, we really didn't see her. We didn't hear from her and anything from her at all up until the final clip about the text messages, and I don't know why. So we didn't get any closure on Natalie, and it makes me think that something happened either with the show or with Shane, or Natalie just refused to record for because everybody else had closure, whereas Natalie, we saw her at the party and that was it. We didn't see her after that, and it doesn't make sense that she suddenly disappeared with everybody after the birthday party and she was nowhere to be heard of. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe somebody knows what happened. Please let me know. And then from there, um, we didn't see Jessie after the party. I assume she went with Sal, but then Sal met up with his sisters, and oh, I don't know whether it's me or anybody else noticed the James Allen promo. That ring was from James Allen. Anyone who watches Married at First Sight knows that James Allen are the ones that provided rings and engagement rings for all the ladies, for all the couples this season. And so for Sal to say he's bought a ring for his girlfriend, that was a prop from the producers. The ring that Sal showed his sisters was a prop because it was from James Allen, and James Allen had rings all through season 15 of Married at First Sight. They had a ring in end of season 14 when one of their husbands proposed to gave a ring to his then wife. They've now divorced. So for me, I don't buy that ring. And the fact that Sal is very bitter. He's very bitter. And I think he's very bitter in the sense that I think he expected Mallory to be hurt by seeing him with Jesse. And because Mallory didn't give him the reaction he wanted, this is why he's then gone to his sisters and said, "Oh, Jesse is everything I've ever dreamed of. She makes me a better man. Oh, I see me having, a lasting relationship with her. I want to propose to her." He showed his sisters the ring. One of his sisters was a bit messy and went, "Oh, at least she doesn't make this sort of remark." And it's like, you don't have to like Mallory, but at the same time, you don't have to say bad things about her. Just say, "Oh, if you think she's the one that said, okay, let's see how it goes." Don't be nasty about somebody just because it didn't work out. Sal knows that he was punching above his weight with Mallory. Mallory was way better than he could have ever hoped to attain. So the idea of him thinking that he is better or his girlfriend is better, I am not a Mallory fan, but I think she's way more beautiful, way more articulate, way more sort of well composed than his girlfriend. But that could just be me. So that bit of Sal annoyed me. Deepti and Cal, for some reason, Deepti has been the producer's favorite. I don't know whether it's because they knew they wanted um, an Asian American couple on the season, and so when they must have persuaded her that this is just me saying, I'm not saying, I don't mean it's true, but I don't know what if for some reason the producers, Dipti has been their golden child in season 2. She's the one they've been sending to promos. She's the one they've been highlighting as the the idea of what Love is Blind for season 2, because she's been everywhere. She's been at all the events for the show, and now suddenly she is the one who's coming out with a closure whereby she has a happily ever after, in the sense that she finally has a guy that really loves her and is into her. And it's like, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why, but I assume they wanted, because the audience were complaining in season 1 that there was no diversity. I think they went for diversity this season. And in that diversity, they must have realized somehow that Shake was not the guy. And so they must have persuaded her to go along with whatever Shake was doing, and they would give her the happily ever after, because I don't get all this, or she had this guy who let her down and suddenly she found love again and she's now in a happy relationship with someone who loves her and adores her. I don't buy that relationship. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I don't follow either one of them, but I will occasionally peep into their Instagram, so we'll see. Maybe they will go the long haul, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And then Nick and Danielle. Nick and Danielle, as I said in my previous reviews, I've seen it throughout the season that they've always been something has always been off with them. Something has not been right. And the fact that they haven't said why they're divorcing, or there hasn't been any mention or anything to show that they are divorcing, you could see the awkwardness in after the altar, that their body initially in the season their chemistry was a bit off, and it was surprising that they both said yes. And then to see them now, and even in the scene when they were in the bed, you could tell. I don't think Danielle was still living there. I think Danielle had moved out, because none of the pillows on her side were removed. It was only on Nick's side where the pillows were removed. So I don't know whether it was just a scene for them to make believe that they're still married, and then after that, once the filming crew left, she would leave. I don't get their marriage. I understand them getting divorced. I think they tried their best. They went to counseling, they tried their best, but things just didn't work out. So I get that. I don't know. Maybe after some time apart, they will come together, but I still don't quite see it with Nick and Danielle. Um, and then Jarrett and Diana. I'm really heartbroken for Jarrett and Diana because they were my favorites this season. They really were. And I'm heartbroken that it seems things didn't work out. I I was questioning, in my previous review, that I don't get if they separated at that time. I've seen them together. They went on holiday recently and they celebrated their honeymoon on holiday. So what happened? Well, it seems Ariana moved back in after they'd met with their parents. You could see that Jared was afraid of his dad, for lack of a better word. I think because he they gave his both Ayana's parents and Jared's parents gave him sound advice. I Somehow we didn't hear from his mom. I don't know whether it was edited out, but the advice that he was given by his parents, had he taken it on board and worked on it, it would have made sense. And I like the fact that, because I was saying in my previous review that people blame Jared, but Ayana has a role in this, and I like the fact that her mother told her that we're not going to beat up on Jared just to make you feel good. And the fact that she comes with her own baggage because of her history, you know, she herself, Ayana, has explained that, I tend to run away when things get difficult and whatever, and people let me down and stuff. So I think that is always going to be a problem. And I think this is why I was saying I wish they'd gone to counseling because their parents gave them sound advice. Um, it seemed they had been trying to make things work, so I don't know why. And the fact that everybody's jumping on board to say, "Oh, why is he working? Why, oh, he's going out, he's working," and nobody has asked why was he working so many jobs. Because I remember he did an interview and he said, he was working every single day. So he was working as a bartender, he was working as a barman, sorry, as a doorman, and then he had his 9 to 5. Why was he working so many jobs? Is it because of the? I remember during their season, he was talking about the finances and how that was going to be a challenge and how he would need to make a lot of sacrifices. So is that why he was working so much? I think there's a lot more to the Ayana and Jared story, just as much as there's a lot to the Danielle and Nick story. But I think the difference is if you look at both couples, you can see that their relationships or their connections or their sort of chemistry is different. And Ayana and Jared, for some reason, I hope it's just time apart that they need to sort of make the changes that will make each other comfortable, and then they can sort of come back together again. Because I really don't know what seriously went wrong for them to suddenly decide that this was the best way forward. I wish this show, as I said in my previous review, I wish the show had provided them with counseling just as they did for Shanice and Jeffy on Married at First Sight when they were about when they had separated and were about to file for a divorce. They gave them counseling and gave them a show with two other couples from the show from Married at First Sight, and till to date, I think they've recently celebrated their fifth wedding anniversary. So I'm not sure exactly what went wrong with Anne and Jared. I think they should have been the stars of the show, not Deepti, because Deepti, yes, I'm not taking anything away from her, but they sort of embodied what Love is Blind is. Love is Blind is making multiple connections with people, proposing to the person that you feel you have the strongest connection with, saying yes after staying with them, saying yes on decision day, and then living happily ever after. I think a lot of things came into play this season, and I hope moving forward, sort of Love is Blind sort of reassesses how they edit people and the storylines that they give people and the impact those will have on the couples that they are showing to the world, because they give this horrible editing to couples and then expect the couples to survive after the show has aired. Yes, the show will make them money, but you've destroyed people who had an opportunity to sort of have a long lasting relationship. Anyway, I digress. Thanks everyone for watching. Please don't forget to like. See you next time on Love is Blind Season 3 premieres. Bye, everyone.